So in today's video, we're going to be making these little outworlds to connect my test tubes together so that way I can move my ants and have a place to feed them and, see them easier. And they are relatively inexpensive. So we used a large hole puncher to cut the circles out of it, although you could probably use any other kind of circular metal anything to do this. We just chose to use this and it worked really well. You're going to need some hose to connect everything, and you're going to need your plastic container to make the holes in for them to be in. So to start off with, we heat up the hole puncher with a blowtorch. I'm sure you could probably do it with a lighter, although it was very difficult, and when you have a blowtorch laying around from past projects, you might as well use it. Once it was extremely hot, we punched it through the plastic, and it went right through. So in the beginning, we punched it all the way through, although at the end, we ended up just pushing the tip of it in, because the hole was actually too large in the beginning. Although you can see how nice and circular these holes are from the hole punch. Now something else we had to figure out was how to connect the hose best to the outworld and the test tube. And what we ended up doing was heating up it and pressing the hole punch into it to make it nice and wide. And my dad did most of this, so credit to him. Next up, heat the tube around the piece of metal to get to stay in place and hold its form, and then cool it off under cold water to get to stay nice and in shape. Then the final step to the hose was to burn the other side and shove it into the container while still hot, and it would expand in the container and make a nice tight fit. We made a total of 7 of these, and I'm currently testing them, and hopefully they should work well. You can see before we added the extra bit on the end, and then once we ended up adding the extra bit on the end, making it bigger, it fit really nice and tightly. As you can see, it's much harder to pull in and out. And you can see all 7 of the ones we made. I gave all of them a very good rinse to make sure that they were nice and clean. After that, I let them dry off for a little while, and then I put them into the shelves that they were going to be housed in. So now that I have all of the containers in place on the shelf, I do have to get cotton balls to make some basic test tube setups for all of my ants, because the whole point of this basically is to make an intermediate area for my ants to go into just to change test tubes. All you need to make a basic test tube setup is to just add some water to the test tube after you rinse it off. I filled around 1/3 of the test tube with water in each one of these, more or less. Now just grab a piece of cotton and shove it in your test tube, and you have a basic test tube setup. Most, if not all, ants love a basic test tube setup. You can never go wrong. I made 7 so that way every ant I hooked up could get a new test tube. I think it looks pretty nice so far, and it's not even finished yet. I did end up making a light to put on this so that way I could see everything better, and even though it was not necessary, it definitely enhanced the whole thing. And here it is, light and all. I went ahead and hooked up one of my fire ant colonies because they are definitely in one of the nastier test tubes. They are of relatively good size and definitely need the foraging space, as it is very difficult to feed them. These carpenter ants are purely the testers. They are a very small colony, in fact the smallest I own right now, and are just testing this out to make sure they can't get out and they do well in it. I'm really happy with the finished product, and I'll see you on the next one. This is my second colony of fire ants, and they're doing quite well, so I decided to go ahead and let them test this out. Hopefully, they won't escape. Go check out my TikTok and Instagram for high quality footage and photos.